Hello fellow engineers and welcome to Planet Zoo. Today I've dropped the hard hat and replaced it with a safari... I've replaced it with a dead orangutan. But fear not, he died of natural causes. Today we'll be creating the ultimate zoo in the mighty tundra of the desert. Now to create the finest zoo anyone has ever seen, my first thought is bigger is better. So if I were to build in my home country of the UK, it's a bit too small, we might be a bit too limited. We could head to North America, a lot more space, but a bit too built up possibly. So instead we'll be heading to the mighty Sahara Desert. And our zoo name won't be Desert Zoo, it will be the Barren Wasteland. Now you might think the location of the desert is pretty controversial. And the name Barren Wasteland, although accurate, could also be seen as controversial too. So you see, this is all part of my plan. For controversy brings free publicity. Now, having never owned a zoo before, I wasn't entirely sure where to start. One thing I did know is if people wanted to get anywhere around my zoo, they'd need a path. Now, once I got over playing with the cat's paw of a path tool, I decided to build a path in the shape of an elephant to really get people in the mood for seeing some awesome natural creatures. And what does every zoo entrance need? A Hollywood-style welcome sign. Now it's time to think about which animals I wanted in my zoo. After hours of scrolling and trying to wonder which animal I should pick first, I decided it would probably be best if we just worked in alphabetical order. So it seems the aardvark would be the first animal in the world's greatest ever zoo. So as any good zookeeper does, I did some research. I found out exactly what aardvark's like. And using my newfound knowledge, I created the best aardvark enclosure I could possibly come up with. Now, unfortunately, finding out aardvarks could in fact swim, I decided to change my design, as it turns out an aardvark could not jump. And just like that, our aardvark pen was complete, ready for our first inhabitant. So I rushed the animal market and bought the first aardvark on the list. And with the aardvark in transit to my zoo, it was time to look at the next animal that we had to cater for. The African buffalo. African buffalo habitat. Permanent water and grass. Well, that should be easy. Now, I know buffalo are quite large creatures, so I decided to go with quite a large area of grass. Excellent, and just like that, our next pen was complete. A low glass wall was added so that the guests could see everything going on in the pen. We were ready to order our African buffalo. Now you might be thinking 4 years have passed and the zoo is not even open yet. Well, like a good beer commercial once said, good thing comes to those who wait. So before we could open the park, it's time to place our first two animals. But as this park was aiming to be the best, Jahi and Aswad simply weren't good enough names. So I took inspiration from my patrons. We now have Aaron Mackey the aardvark and Breezy Bro the buffalo. So Aaron Mackey got carefully carried to his cage, and there he was, heading straight for his new pizza paradise. However, he'd only been in the park for 2 minutes when it was discovered that Aaron Mackey had a disease. So the vet was called, and using her handy Bluetooth tablet, Aaron was sent back to the shop, never to be seen again. Unfortunately, no one told me the zoo had opened already, and the crowds of people came swarming in. It was hot, but that didn't stop people crowding together, all running to try and catch a glimpse of Aaron the aardvark, who'd just been returned safely from the vet, having recovered from his disease. What was the disease, Aaron? Architecturosis. You are very lucky to survive. Anyway, Aaron was happy in his new pizza paradise, but apparently these protesters had not been told this. So with the protesters right at the gate, I decided to make a moat to keep Aaron the aardvark safe. Thankfully, here he was, the king of the pizza Oi, where are you going? Well, at least it proves Google was right and aardvarks can swim. Anyway, with Aaron drawing in the crowds, I decided it was time to finally release a new inhabitant. So with Breezy Bro in transit, I figured it would be a good time to pause the game and help the visitors that were sweltering in the 44-degree heat. So I opened a drink stall, and the customers started flooding in, much to the amusement of the vendor owner. But as this was a desert, the queues were getting bigger, the temperature was still rising, so I decided to hydrate the entire of my park. And you can tell this was designed by an engineer because it was multi-purpose. Obviously the shop provides water, but the layout also provides much needed shade to our guests. And thankfully the shade's just out of reach for our protesters. And of course, being in the sweltering heat of the desert sun, these are all powered by solar panels. So meanwhile, it seemed Breezy Bro had moved in. What a beautiful chap. He's just been for a swim. And this might look like he's... Oh. Oh, don't lie in it, man. Breezy Bro. What do you mean come closer? You only did the poo to put people off. You have a secret plan to make lots of money. Okay, I'm listening. Now, it's well known the first African buffalo were the first bankers of the world. With everyone sweltering in the desert heat, we knew they'd need water, but the business acumen of Breezy Bro told me if I increase prices, synchronize costs to all shops, and of course don't include any ice, then our profits would be flying. Not only that, Breezy Bro knew that he wasn't the most glamorous of animals in the park. That if we really needed to make money, we have to make use of the very cute Aaron Mackey aardvark. We got to work placing donation facilities, and it wasn't long before the money was flying in. So with a new income stream, we were able to purchase more enclosures. This was our cheetah enclosure, and of course cheetahs love cheating, so it has a noughts and crosses map where you cannot ever lose. And because I wasn't sure whether the cheetahs could climb or not, I decided to make the walls really, really high, and the pen a hexagon shape, sort of, because hexagons are the bestagons. So that was the letter C covered. The next letter was D. And the trouble is there's no animals that begin with the letter D. So instead we just made... yeah. Anyway, this is the elephant enclosure. Now as you all know, elephants love trunks. So I built them a trunk. It's complete with locks and handles. And inside it has the lovely muddy water that elephants crave. As well as this. A giant elephant who's a bit camera shy, so we're just going to look at his legs. So after elephant, the next animal begins with F. Again, there aren't many animals that begin with F, except for fighting bears. So we have created hell in a cage. This is a full-on fighting ring, ready for our bears to have the ultimate showdown. And there weren't any steel chairs, so we got the next best thing. The fabric beach chair! And this all cost a lot of money, so we only really had enough money for one more pen. And yes, here it is, the giraffe pen. Now as you know, giraffes are tall animals, they love basketball. So I made them an Olympic standard basketball court, complete with regulation size markings, a glass backboard, but they didn't have any basketballs in stock, so we're stuck with a football. And then so the guests can see the entire game clearly, we've just got a very low electric fence, powered by this sort of poorly placed solar panel, which is constantly in the shade. But now it was time to add some animals to our pens, and there was no time like the present, because Aaron the aardvark was really attracting some crowds. Right, and here come the cheetahs. You wouldn't believe you could fit a cheetah in there, but apparently you can. So we'll head through our door. And as you can see, there is our first cheetah, who is loving life. Here's our second one. This is Marrow and Jalkin. And they're just sort of sitting around, wondering where to go next in order to win the game of noughts and crosses. But our zookeeper was very pleased that they're loving their new enclosure. And thankfully, it wasn't long before they were joined by two more cheetahs. So here is William and Tesgwyn. There seems to be a bit of conflict between these two. Oh dear. Right, so Marrow just showed his absolute dominance in the cheetah den. And William has been taken away by the vet to get a little bit of first aid. But aside from that, things were going well for the cheetahs. They finally got their first interested visitors. This guy who's literally surrounded by kids. Stick close, kids. You don't want to get lost. And look how pleased they are to see zebras in their natural habitat. Yeah, she's even taking a photo of the moment. Look at them. That is a happy cheetah. Right, and with the success of the cheetah cage, although I say success, there's another fight going on. This time between Tesgwyn and Jalkin. Oh, look. Tesgwyn is now the alpha. Jalkin has run off. Did you get caught cheating at noughts and crosses? Anyway, ignoring the next enclosure, which has been blocked off by these bushes so that kids can't see in, not for any other aesthetic reasons. It was time to add some elephants to the mighty trunk. Aaron the aardvark was really tucking into his pizza, but protesters still thought this was cruel, even though he's not a giraffe. Right, so our first elephants had arrived. The zookeepers would go through the gates and magically teleport through the wall. We're inside, we're greeted with an elephant. Two very different size elephants. I think you're crushing him. Mate, you gotta get up. So poor Perigee the elephant, absolutely flattened. And he's actually injured. You can see he's actually led a terrible life. From all the scars on him, it's clear he used to work for architects. But thankfully, he's been rescued. I'm sure as no other elephants jump on his head again, he'll be absolutely fine. Meanwhile, the big boy that did the damage, he's sulking over here. This is Adno. Adno, you should probably be ashamed of yourself, mate. Because sitting on other elephants isn't very nice. Particularly when we got this bad boy over here. He could do the same sort of damage to you if you don't start behaving. So the guests were absolutely loving the new elephants. They could not believe what a good view they got of elephants. So I had a little word with Breezy Bro, and we decided, yes, we should add more elephants. So welcome less than Marv, who's cooling off in the muddy water, and Adam Bond, who's bonding with the long-standing resident. Anyway, with no more elephants being trampled, it was clear they were absolutely loving their new trunk enclosure. And with the cheetahs eating some orange sherbet and running away from the messes they've just made, it was time for the main event, the fighting bear cage. So in the blue corner, we have the aptly named iamdestructoman. And oh god, what are you doing? What are you doing with your butt? He's a black bear. He's currently wandering up and down, getting the crowd pumped for today's fight. Next, weighing in at 2 meters 09 long, we have the Himalayan brown bear, Blue Fire Wolf, who's really pumped. Hang on. Oh no! iamdestructoman has escaped. He's not really into fighting, so he is completely off. He wanted to have a look at the upcoming giraffe basketball game, but that's happening next, mate. It's not time for that yet. Meanwhile, Blue Fire Wolf is just getting a feel for the ring. It seems iamdestructoman is going to head back. No. Oh god, he's heading for the elephants. He's heading for the elephants. Oh, but no time. We've got to head to the cheetah enclosure because something magical is about to happen. Fueled by orange sherbet, a mating ritual is occurring. This involves jumping into a knot, having a little drink, and then jumping out again. Meanwhile, our final bear has approached and he's licking himself. It's Hexwind, the grizzly bear. He is raring to go, despite just sitting on his ass. Over in this corner, Blue Fire Wolf is also just sitting down, licking his belly as well. This isn't the fight I thought it would be. I might go get iamdestructoman back in. So you have been boxed, mate. And the fans have come to the fighting bear cage. They're holding up posters of their favourite bear. Their spelling's a bit off, but I guarantee you it's going to be a fantastic fight. You will not be disappointed. Right, and here we go. Destructoman has entered the ring. He's taking his dominant place. Blue Fire Wolf is heading around trying to find the steel chair. Unfortunately, there isn't a steel chair. There's only the beach chair, which I don't think will do as much damage. Yeah, but oh no! We just had 2 escapes, but don't worry, we captured them. Destructoman is getting a bit impatient. He feels like he should be handed his belt already. Right, and here we go. Everyone's back in the ring. It's not quite the battle I thought it would be. Oh, but look! Blue Fire Wolf is rearing up. He's heading straight for Hexwind. Oh. Right, for now, it's a staring contest. Oh, and he's gone. Okay, the vet's taken him away, which means we're down to our last 2 bears. Hexwind the grizzly versus iamdestructoman the black bear. And look at this battle, guys. You have never seen a battle like this before. There's so much aggression. The crowds are going wild. This really is a classic cage match. So days, weeks, and even months passed, and the battle was arduous and ongoing. After a year of battling, it was too much for Hexwind the grizzly, and iamdestructo the black bear was crowned victorious. Can we get a post-match interview? How are you feeling? Didn't have much to say. Anyway, finally, it was time for the second main event of the day. It's the GBA. Our first giraffe was less than Marv. Apparently, he wasn't keen on basketball. He kicked down the electric fence and escaped. Yeah, but it didn't take long before he came back because he realized it's basketball time. Not satisfied with how he performed in the bear fighting, Hexwind decided to have a go at basketball. Right, so he's running towards the ball. Boosh! Right, he's moved the ball closer. Now he's taking a run up and he's going for a slam dunk. Oh my goodness, we've never seen anything like this before. Right, but the giraffes, they've had enough. They're getting back into the game. It's anyone's ball. Who's going to go for it? Not you. Okay, fair enough. Meanwhile, Hexwind has spotted some kids who are making a run for it. Stampede! Everyone's a little bit worried. I don't really know why. But finally, the basketball fans are arriving. They've come to cheer on their team. This guy's a big GBA fan. And just your luck, I think you're about to get up close and personal with one of the superstars of the game. Oh, apparently he saw enough. But now his poster sort of looks like something else. Is anybody else seeing that? Or is that just me? It's like Homer Simpson's. Anyway, what is that? Oh, wow. They have literally stacked that up. That is an engineer's turd. Hey, where do you think you're going again? And that's the final whistle. The scores for the GBA are as follows. Giraffes 0, Bears 1. And with that comes the end of today's tour. Despite their loss, the giraffes absolutely love their pitch. They're still practicing now. iamdestructoman is still strutting his stuff after his fantastic win. The elephants are happy in their trunk. What's this guy doing? Is that a poo? Are you sucking up poos? Ooh, why? The cheetahs are very happy. They have actually multiplied. There's now 6? There's now 6. Although, are you just sleeping, or you seem to be covered in a lot of cuts? Aaron Mackey is still in paradise. He's still got 6 pizzas left to eat. So you know what, Breezy Bro? I think we did all right. I mean, look at the crowds. You could not have asked for a better opening day of our zoo. So overall, I call that a success. Peace, love, and zoos. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.